Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the vlog. Now, I just got done. Actually, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've seen this movie a while back. You know what I'm saying? I saw it in theater a couple years ago. I just saw it. I'll say about a week ago. It just brings back a lot of memories. Such a good movie. Believe it or not, I'm about to say the movie. This movie did not make a lot of money. I really don't know why. It's such a great story, such a good movie, but it didn't make any money. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't understand why. But the movie's called The Founder. Michael Keaton, and basically it's about the story of the antagonist that took over McDonald's, and it's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate. And the reason we know it's pretty accurate is because I believe the sons and the grandchildren of Dick and Mac originally worked with the producers to make the story come to life. There's tons of interviews with them, and so we'll get right into it. So basically the movie starts off with Michael Keaton, Ray Kroc, that's the guy's name, Ray Kroc, and he starts off with him. He's selling a milkshake machine to some random guy. Just kind of zooms into his face, and basically he's trying to sell milkshake, and the guy says no. All right, so he leaves, and basically he ends up leaving the establishment, and you see him drive off, and it just kind of goes into like a kind of a gray mood, kind of like, oh man, another failure or whatnot. The tone of the movie is kind of more of a gray mood, and basically he ends up driving, and he tries to sell it to another guy, and he gets denied. Then he tries to sell it to another guy again. They show him trying to sell it to another guy, and again he gets denied. And then finally, this guy, at least in the movie, who knows in real life, but in the movie, he's like such a liar. He stops by and he has to make a phone call to I believe his secretary, and basically he's like, yeah man, yeah, a lot of interest, I'm selling a lot, when he hasn't even sold anything. And then the secretary, says it into his face, oh, well, we're in debt, we're 6 months past due on our debt, and they're returning order, so that just kind of makes his face go, oh no. But in a twist event, it's not even a big order for, say, at least for his company, but he gets a random order by some random guy named McDonald, 6 mixers, 6 milkshake machine mixers, and he's just like, what? That's impossible. That doesn't even make any sense. So the Ray Kroc, this guy doesn't even believe in himself at this moment. He's just kind of destroyed. He's just ready let down. Really down. So, anyways, he calls up the owner. He ends up being one of the McDonald's brothers, Mac, and I'm sorry, ends up being Dick McDonald. And basically he's like, yeah, was it you? Yeah, I placed and Dick is like, yeah, I placed the order, how soon can you get him here? And Ray Kroc was explaining, well, it's gonna take me a while. And then the McDonald brother just kind of hangs up the phone, and Ray Kroc is like, what the hell? And so he's like, all right, bet. So he decides to go, and he ends up venturing all the way to San Bernardino. And at first he sees like a restaurant, but he doesn't see why it's so busy, but he doesn't notice that it's them, it's their own restaurant, McDonald's. He didn't notice. So basically he ends up I guess he's hungry, so he ends up getting down. He's trying to see what the hype is about. He's ordering a burger, and he's like astonished at how quick he got it. He got it within like literally 10 seconds, as sees it in the movie. And he's like, what, man, what is this? So he ends up eating it. He likes the food. And the other brother, and the taller one, the tall brother, he ends up coming and be like, hey, my name is McDonald, I'm saying, Mac, and basically Mac McDonald, and basically be like, yeah, this is me. And I guess he finally sees that the store is called McDonald's. I don't know how he didn't see it in the first place. He's like, oh yeah, me, I'm Ray Kroc, I'm the milkshake machines man. He's like, oh yeah, Dick called you, whatever. So then I guess he gives him a tour of the restaurant, and he's just amazed, man, just because revolutionary, nothing ever existed like that at the time. And anyways, fast forward, and he's talking to Dick. He's like, yeah man, so my machines, when am I gonna get them, and this and that and whatever. So he just kind of, bulges off. And he's like, nah, well, hold on, man. I want to hear your story. I want to invite you to dinner. So they end up going to dinner. And basically, they end up explaining the whole life. So I guess in the movie, they were poor, and it was during the height of the Great Depression. And basically, they just were in every business, man. They went into movies, and basically they, got busted. They did a little kind of Sonic drive-in beforehand, before it was revolutionized by Sonic. It got busted, and they just weren't having any luck. Finally, a third time's a charm. They finally reinvent the whole system of things, the Speedy system. They cut everything into parts where not one person is doing everything, and they basically, you got like one or two people doing, two different jobs and working together, exactly how the McDonald's is right now. So they revolutionized that. That's a new system, and boom, it just pops off, man, because everybody's like, wow, burgers are within seconds, literally within seconds, and everybody's astonished. So basically, they invent that, and it goes well, but then obviously the sales start to level off, they say, and they do a reopening, and it fails. But just through sheer luck, fast forward probably like a couple of days after the reopening, it just picks up. So it just picked up, and now before you know it, they're just making mega bucks, man. Because in the movie, and this is true as well, I guess they were driving Cadillacs. That's a pretty big deal back in the 50s, because everybody, obviously, I think the middle class wasn't making as much money with minimum wage. It was worse. So anyways, they get up, and basically now they're making money. They got a successful restaurant, and everything's on the up and up. And fast forward, that's the end of the dining experience. Ray Kroc goes back to his hotel room. He's like thinking about it. He's like, man, this could be my chance. I got to do whatever I got to do. And basically, he ends up going back to the brothers and being like, man, we got to franchise this thing. He has a meeting. He talks to them. He lies to them, saying, oh, yeah, man, no, I didn't come for the orders. I came for y'all guys. This guy's like a total liar. Anyways, he wins their trust, and basically they end up taking, he sees out the other restaurants first, because I guess the McDonald's brothers tell them that they tried, but it wasn't working, but they just weren't getting the right people. And it did fail at first, but, you just got to follow your gut. So Ray Kroc convinces them to franchise it. All right. And then after that happens, he gets the right to make a contract, but Ray Kroc is just so enthusiastic to franchise his business because he thinks it's his way out. He don't even read the contract. He just kind of skims through it, just kind of signs it, and bam. Well, all right, so they get to work. This guy, Ray Kroc, mortgages his house, takes out a second mortgage on his house to open the first McDonald's in Des Plaines, Illinois, where his hometown is, where he lived at the time, because he drove all from there to San Bernardino. That's where the McDonald's brothers were. And boom, yeah, you know what I'm saying, he starts making money. It's a big hit. You see him, like, he was a bit of a neat freak. He was a bit of a germaphobe. He was a bit of a micromanager type person. That was his personality, and he says how they showed in the movie. And yeah, man, you just see him micromanaging everybody. He's making he's making shit work. And fast forward, you know what I'm saying, I guess his wife is kind of sad or kind of petty about the bell. Is like, man, you've been working too much, we never go out no more, man. So he tries to fix that relationship. But ultimately, a hardworking man, at the end of the day, you got to work. He's working 80 hours a week. He's a provider. But, I guess his wife, just is like, oh, well, I need a man, So, but later on that subject. And basically, he's working hard, and he's just franchising, man. He starts franchising it to his friends. He starts franchising it to random people in the restaurant, and he just grows exponentially. And before you know it, like within a few months, within I think like 1 or 2 months, he ends up making like 3-4 different franchises. And now the ball's rolling. Now he's making money. But, quality control issue starts rising up, because obviously it takes the right person to run a business. And he's disappointed, he's so much in debt, and he just can't believe his eyes. So he ends up so at this time, Ray Kroc is just devastated. And then to add fuel to the fire, the brothers are kind of controlling him too much. Like, hey, not letting him make any big decisions. They're not letting him make any changes to like the food or to the ice cream, to the nothing. Because he after all, he did sign a pretty strict contract. So now he's failing miserably, man. Like, Ray Kroc is just like, he's in debt. He's not making enough money. Nobody's like, like running the restaurant well. All right, so it moves to the next scene. Fast forward, and I guess just literally some random guy, some random religious Jewish guy, is, I guess, trying to sell Bibles to him at his own office. I don't know how true that is, but that's how they showed it in the movie. And he just, like, Ray Kroc just gets a hunch, follows his gut, and basically is like, hey, man, what's your name? You're pretty religious. Let me get to know you. Boom, just signs him right then. New franchisee. And it works out, man. He does exactly what he's told. He follows code, the health codes, and everything is on the up and up. And boom, before you know it, he realizes the type of persons that he needs. He needs religious people. He needs people with families. Not people that are greedy, or not people that just want the money. He needs people that need to be providers. So basically, he ends up going to just different campuses. He ends up going to colleges. He ends up going to churches. He ends up going to basically anywhere that he can get a big family crowd, family men, family women. So he starts recruiting, man, and man, it just starts taking off, man. He's recruiting here, recruiting there, and boom, before you know it, he's got 20, 30, 40 franchises, and the movie starts moving fast. So now he's making money. He's becoming famous. Everything's on the up and up now. Finally fixed the problem. And bam, another issue goes. He's losing money. And this just hits him like a side brick, because he don't even know why he's losing money. He's like, how are we losing money if we got all these franchisees and whatever? His secretary is like, well, man, you're not making enough money, man. So I guess the strict contract was he was only gaining 1.4% of all net profits. Nothing, man. And I mean, the other guys were, I think, making like I believe it says it in the movie, they were making about 0.5%, but they were pretty much making less than Kroc. But you have to remember, they were running their own restaurant, so the money, they didn't really care about money. They didn't really see any obstacles. They had their own restaurant. They had their own money. It wasn't a big deal. But Ray Kroc is just drowning miserably because he mortgaged his house. He's not making any money. Like, this is it. So he tries to renegotiate, and bottom line, the McDonald's brothers don't want to renegotiate. Be like, no, man, we're not doing that. All right. So Ray Kroc gets mad, and he tries to change everything that he can. He tries to change the ice cream. He tries to change the food, and just gets denied left and right by the brothers. So it doesn't work out. So now he's just failing, man. He's just losing money miserably. Finally, he tries to take out more money from the mortgage, from his loan, to try to fix the problems, but the lender didn't give him the money, and boom, just random encounter with his new accountant, his new partner, his new business partner, Sonneborn, and basically he ends up looking at the contract, and he ends up being like, yeah, well, this, that, and explaining everything that everybody already knew anyways. And basically he's like, well, check it out, man. Here's a new business idea for you, man. You see, you don't make money, selling hamburgers, man. You make money by owning the land, owning the building, owning everything within that business. You're not your problem is you're a franchisor. You're not an owner. You don't own anything. You're just the accountant is telling him that you're just selling the franchises and you're getting a profit from that, but you don't own anything. You have to own physical assets. You have to own the trademarks. You have to own everything. Boom, light bulb. So basically, he ends up getting into the real estate, and he ends up buying the land. So Ray Kroc ends up buying the land, buying the buildings, and leasing everything else, the equipment, everything to the franchisees. And of course, that is out of the contract, but it doesn't matter because the contract was for a percentage of the net profits from the business. The way he maneuvered itself out, or Ray Kroc maneuvered itself out, was he started buying the land and he started renting from the profits. So it's a whole separate thing. He wasn't getting, technically on paper, he wasn't getting any money from the profits. He was just collecting rent from the cash flow. And boom, before you know it, everything just starts growing exponentially. He's opening franchises left and right, and the brothers are like, whoa, you left us out. And that's where the animosity starts to come in. And before you know it, he's just like, oh, well, you know, you're not doing what we say, and it's violation of your contract. But Ray Kroc is smart because obviously he's got a smart banker and he knows he's not doing anything wrong. And before you know it, he maneuvers himself to buy up all the land of McDonald's and just start renting everything and leasing and back to the franchisee. Now he's making tons of money. And obviously, the brothers get mad. They start to renegotiate, but Ray Kroc doesn't want to. He doesn't want to get rid of anything. He doesn't want to renegotiate anything. And now the brothers, they're just arguing through the phone and basically just, you know, they just having a panic attack. And the brother, one of the brothers, the Mac, I believe, he's telling Ray Kroc, hey man, this is wrong, you have no right, you shouldn't be doing this, this is illegal. And Ray Kroc is just telling him, no, it's not part of the business, it's a real estate, it's a whole separate company. Boom. And the other brother just has a heart attack, you know, just drops down. Fast forward, he's in the hospital and Ray Kroc goes to meet him and be like, look guys, you know what I'm saying, like gives him a blank check and straight up says, call me, you know what this is, call me later. It moves to the next scene and they're like, all right, bet. They call him and they ended up to wanting to retire, man. The brothers were just sick of the business, they were sick of everything, you know, and they just, you know, they just didn't care anymore. They just wanted to retire. And they ended up selling everything to Ray Kroc, man. They ended up selling the business, the name, the land, everything. They just gave it up to Ray Kroc for $2.7 million. After taxes, they got $1 million each. And then fast forward to them signing the checks, the done deal, everything's done. They have one final Ray Kroc and one of the brothers has one final conversation in the bathroom. Like, yeah, man, it was never the business, it was your name, it was a trademark. But that's the only thing I don't like about the movie, is that it wasn't the trademark, it wasn't the name, it was the real estate aspect. It was the land and the buildings and the leasing and the rent that made McDonald's what it is today. It was never the name. But I guess, you know, it's a movie, so whatever. And basically, at the end of the day, they just cut the encounter. The McDonald's brothers lose everything, man. They lose their name, you know, they lose their reputation. And, you know, Ray Kroc just steals everything like a boss, man. I mean, this guy just takes everything, the name, for $2 million. Fast forward, and then, so that's a done deal. And then it fast forward, the movie fast forwards roughly like 16 years, 15 or 16 years. Mega millionaire, man. I mean, this guy, they show him in Beverly Hills. He's in a mansion. He's got his own driver, new wife, young wife. You know, he's making money. And yeah, man, I mean, you know, he succeeded in life, man. And it basically cuts to him. I guess he's reviewing a speech that he's doing. He's reviewing a speech in the mirror that I guess he's gonna go do, but the movie never explains anything. And then it cuts to the credits and it tells you a little bit of the story. At the end of the day, and that's the end of the movie. But my thoughts are, in my opinion, is, see, the movie was so epic because it really shows how ruthless business is, and you have to be ruthless. You know what I'm saying? It's a dog eat dog, rat eat rat, and that's a quote from the movie. It's, you know, it's that type of world, and you got to be ruthless. You got to be ruthless. You know, you got to step on everybody that steps in your way, man. People that get in your way, you got to push them out of the way. You got to step on anybody that gets in your way. You know, you got to take anybody out, metaphorically speaking, obviously. I mean, but what I'm saying is that's just how business is. And, you know, great movie. I highly recommend. That movie did not make a lot of money, which is very sad because such a great movie. Probably my all-time favorite movie in all reality. And yeah, man, the message is clear, man. You got to be ruthless. You got to push anybody that gets in your way. Just take them down. And all that matters is money. The only thing that matters is money, success, and that's just the way it is, man. That's the way the game is. You know, the game isn't gonna change. The players change. People change. Players change. And you got to play the game or get run over. And that's the message at least I got from the movie towards the end of the credits. And that's the end of the movie. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate your time. Like I said, you know, this is just another movie review, another day. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.